Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast named Tim, a father and son movie review podcast, available everywhere podcasts are. Please leave a rating and review on your audio platform of choice. And of course, check us out on YouTube as well. We are going to be talking about bear movies this week. So that means Prophecy and Into the Grizzly Maze. Those are the two movies, if I recall correctly. Interesting titles. Are they interesting movies? Who knows? But again, check us out everywhere. We are available, YouTube, all the audio podcasts, and on social media and podcastnametim.com. I'm Zach. Dad, how are you today, good sir? Fantastic. Well, it was another football Sunday. We'll see how that goes. And, fantasy team's doing good. So I'm happy about this. And, playing the Chargers. Our Dallas Cowboys, America's team, are playing the Chargers. But what else have you been watching outside of all this lovely stuff?
Nothing.
Well, that's good.
No, I did watch Malignant last night, or the night before.
How was that?
That's a rough one. It was not at all I watched it with Alex and Amy. All three of us had seen the trailer. All three of us wanted to watch it. It was nothing like we thought it was going to be. I mean, nothing.
Like in a good way?
It depends on what you're looking for in a movie, what you like. I didn't mind it because it had kind of an 80s vibe later. It started out as kind of more of a modern type horror movie, but it got campy.
Right.
It was interesting. It was different. It definitely left an opening for a sequel. I talked to a friend of mine out of state who said the exact same thing. I asked her how she liked it, and she said she wasn't what I was expecting. I was like, yeah, exactly. They definitely tried to give it more of when they did the trailer, it kind of like a Conjuring type.
Yeah.
But it goes another way.
Okay.
We'll leave it that. I don't want to do any spoilers because it's still new. But other than that, just normal stuff.
Okay. Well, I finished Star Wars Rebels Season 2. Forgot how great that was, that ending battle there for the season finale there. And waiting for Star Wars Divisions to drop this week. We'll be doing a review for that. Apparently, it's going to be all dropping at once, and it's 9 shorts that add up to about 2.5 hours. So it's basically watching a movie. If you just watch the season in one.
And it drops all at the same time?
All same time. Wednesday. And then also started, I don't think I mentioned this last time. I started watching some Kamen Rider, which was the precursor to Super Sentai. And it's interesting. It's very creepy. It's super creepy, but it's more insect bug themed. But basically it's, someone powers up and he fights the monster of the week, and it's the Power Ranger formula, but just one guy who rides a motorcycle. And he's fighting Shocker. That is the name of the evil empire that he is fighting. But all the villains, they all look super creepy.
It looks like you're recording from prison.
Not there, presently.
I don't know how that jumped out at me.
But that's it. That's all I've really been watching. Nothing else too exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we watched anything together. Just our normal crap.
That's all right. Well, let's go ahead then and hop into the movies. Get to it. Nothing to it but do it. We're gonna start with Prophecy. But before we get to that, let's take a quick moment to pause and hear a word from our sponsor. Prophecy came out in 1979, has a PG rating, a 1 hour and 42-minute runtime, 5.5 on IMDb. On the tomato meter, it has a 26 and a 35 from the audience score. It is about how a log company in, I think, Maine, is its environmental waste has caused nature to mutate, and there's now a giant killer bear mutant thing out in the forest. That's the plot of this film. Stars Talia Shire, Robert Foxworth, Armand Asante, etc. Um, this is my selection, so I will let you go first.
Godfather and Rocky, two really good movies. And they were made before this. Not sure why what happened to her career that she had to take this. Boy, this was a hoot and a holler. It was,
Yep.
It kind of reminded me of a made-for-television movie at first. It had that feel of those made-for-television movies back then. But then when they actually finally decided to show things, it took a turn. That was quite a creature they created there. The bubbly bear, as I kept referring to it as. The babies were really gross.
Yes.
It was pretty nasty to look at. The bear, or whoever was in that costume, or what the thing was, when they were doing the long scenes of it running, was just, I don't know who could be scared of that. It was just so funny that it totally took you out of the trying to feel some anticipation of this creature attacking. Armand Asante's serious acting was kind of funny in it. He was pulling it off, but you would think he was doing Shakespeare. This movie, boy, he was, I don't know, kind of crazy that they were fighting people with chainsaws and stuff. That was a little
Yeah.
That was a little like, damn, it just seemed like we could get around it over that. They missed the perfect opportunity. Whenever you have a horror movie and you have a pregnant woman, where's the last scene of something happening? Come on.
Yep.
As soon as she said she was pregnant in the first 10 minutes of the movie or whatever, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to get the pregnancy's going to go crazy from whatever they're dumping in this water.
Yeah, and they even hinted at that as being they talked about.
So yeah, I kind of thought it would be, and I was like, I kept waiting for that, and and then the way it ends, I was like, wait a minute, what? How come I didn't get my? And I don't like preachy movies, although it wasn't horrible. It was like, okay, yeah, we shouldn't be dumping stuff into the water and all that, but yeah, it was really bad. But at the end, I wasn't hating it because I thought it was funny. So,
right.
I mean, I would never tell anyone to watch it. It's definitely not watch worthy, but it amused me for an hour and a half or 2 hours, however long it was. So that's it.
Yeah, it was not great. I liked the bear design, the creature design, in part because of what it inspired later. Of course, it is credited as being kind of the inspiration for Man, Bear, Pig. There's an episode from South Park where they show it, and it looks just like that. The babies, I thought, like I said, creepy, but looked good for what they were. I enjoyed that. I mean, we've done several creepy baby movies here recently. This is certainly no Spike from Eraserhead. But I enjoyed the creepiness of that. I didn't get the title.
No.
Was there maybe I missed it because I blanked out. Did the Native Americans in the film say something about there was a prophecy where this would happen? That was the only thing I could think of, and I was like, I
didn't hear it, and that's what I was assuming too. So I don't feel like I heard it.
Okay.
Maybe I somehow missed it.
Okay.
I didn't catch that either. Must have ended up on the cutting room floor or something.
Yeah, I love the movie poster. Thought it looks great.
Interesting.
It makes you want to watch it more than the actual movie, I guess. Of course, this is horror author Stephen King says he is particularly fond of this movie. So it does not shock me since the setting is, near where he takes all of his movies take place. Right. The environmentally themed uh, horror films were very popular in the 60s and 70s and maybe a little bit in the 80s as well. It was a subgenre of horror. There are certainly better films of that genre than this, and they're all bad. None of them are good. But I watched Frogs recently. Even though that was bad, it had a little bit more something to it. But yeah, all of the man sucks, and also I didn't understand, like, I don't know how paper's made. Tell you that but I was like, why is there mercury? I was like, I didn't know mercury was involved in this, and they missed they missed some other opportunities. We could have had more, like when we went to the Native American people, they should have been, like people from the island. They should have been mutated and crazy, and I don't know, something.
At least somebody should have.
Well, the weird preachy part in this film was when they talked about the Native Americans, and they talked about the stereotypes that are attached to that group of people about alcohol.
Right.
And they seemed to say that the mercury poisoning was causing them to be alcoholics. Did you pick up on
that? We're admitting they're all alcoholics, but...
Well, did you hear that? It was like a weird...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's right.
It was like, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know if I don't know. It was a weird, like, social commentary piece within this film.
The mercury drove them to drink.
It was very weird. Speaking of, you mentioned Rocky earlier. This film did have an impact on the Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, because she was involved in this movie, I guess because of timing of things, he actually had to rewrite some of the final scenes of Rocky 2. So, which you would think, if I'm Talia, I would say, this movie's not interfering with my filming of Rocky 2.
It shouldn't have.
But yeah, something happened there, and that impacted. So I don't know what the rewrites were, but there was some rewriting because of it. Here's a weird fact I saw about when this debuted, and this can put a interesting juxtaposition on quality of film. This debuted the same month, the exact same month as Alien, the original Alien. So these two movies, so you could go to the theater, and sit there and look when you're in line and say, do I want to go see Mutant Bear movie or do I want to go see Alien? And if you look at the quality of those films, which are both weird horror films,
right,
that rely partially on their practical effects to sell the movie. What a difference. What a difference.
One had a budget, one didn't.
I don't think that was the issue. I don't think that was the issue. Yeah, this was not.
Well, good. This is a known director. This is,
yeah.
Frankenheimer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not like he was. I don't know. I can't remember what else he's done, but I know the name.
Well, and the writer is known. I mean, this is the guy who wrote The Omen. So I mean, that's which I think is a little overrated. But yeah, Frankenheimer. I mean, he did The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, that's it.
And he did some other stuff as well, but I think that's probably the main one at this time he would have been there for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've got decent talent. I like Armand Assante. He is what he is, but I like him.
Well, at the time, Robert Foxworth was a commodity.
Was he? Okay.
He was known. He wasn't. I mean, he was in a lot of TV stuff, and he was on Falcon's Crest, which is kind of a Dallas.
Okay.
Came on after Dallas. It was a wine industry, Dallas, with Jane Wyman, President Reagan's ex-wife, was the monarch on that. And he was in. He was known.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think the movie, the unfortunate part is, I think the beginning of the movie set you up properly. It got you into the action and gave you that suspense very early on. And then they did too much of the eco, and it wasn't just the eco crap. It was the Native American versus evil corporation thing, and
Right.
they relied on it too much in this movie. Because I think, if I remember correctly, we watched Humanoids from the Deep.
Yeah.
That had a lot of that in that, but maybe did it better.
Well, yeah, it had boobs and better monsters.
Did have good monsters, other than their shrieking for.
And Roger Corman did it.
Roger Corman.
Bam.
So, avoid this movie. Not really worth your time.
No.
So, well, let's go ahead and hop to your film, which was Into the Grizzly Maze. Great title.
Well, I picked it.
2015 R rating, 1 hour and 34-minute runtime, 36 on the Rotten Tomato meter, and 24 from the audience score. So both, and I think IMDb is 5.3. So they're both same. I guess if you're making a movie about bears, it's about the same ratings. But two brothers who live out or from the wilderness. I don't know. Was this like Wyoming or Alaska? It was Alaska. It says here on the synopsis. They used to hunt bears. One's a sheriff, one's an outlaw. And there's a big mean bear out there, and we have to go save some people, including his deaf wife, who are out there. Great cast. James Marsden, Thomas Jane, Piper Perabo, Billy Bob Thornton. Like I said, this was your selection, so I'll go first. This was very average. It wasn't bad. It was serviceable. Not memorable. It didn't do anything bad other than the effects at times were a little rough. As far as like the fire and some of the other stuff. The actual bear effects were fine, but some of the other ones were bad. I guess Billy Bob needed a paycheck. Everyone was kind of mail-eating it a little bit. I think James Marsden tried. It was just average. It was almost a nothing film. What did you think?
I liked it.
You liked it? Okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
I did. I liked it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I love it, but I liked it. I thought when I was done with it, it was an hour and a half, so perfect time. Didn't take up too much of my time. Had every cliche you need. One bad brother, one good brother, one's a lawman, one's against the law. A deaf person that can't hear bears coming.
Right.
It had gore. It had some pretty nasty gore things.
Yeah.
Blood. It had Billy Bob Thornton.
Always
I never knew I was a Billy Bob Thornton mark until recently, but I seem to like everything he's in. Had a couple of swerves. You thought one guy was dead, he wasn't. Came back. It had the bear was crazy. That was a mean ass bear. Yeah, I liked it. Again, I'm not going to watch it again. It's never going to be but the title. The title's why I picked it. I was like, oh, that's a cool title. I would tell people if you want to watch it, it's okay.
I mean, my thing was there was certainly nothing bad about the film. I just didn't think there was anything good necessarily. It was just, like I said, it was all well executed, and that's the best I can say about this in some respects. Just they did what they were supposed to do.
Yes, which is okay.
Which is fine. It is fine.
It's not an Academy Award nominee.
No,
I wasn't expecting that. Since it went straight to Netflix, I'm assuming. I've never heard of this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was in the theater or what, but I never heard of this.
James Marsden has a very weird career of films that he's in.
He's a weird guy.
I mean, or as I like to call him, not Chris Pine. Can we get Chris Pine in this movie? We don't have the budget for that. All right, call James.
That's a fair assessment, I think.
Yeah.
Although I would not have wanted to see Chris Pine in Hop.
You sure? What about
Pretty
Sonic?
positive.
What about Sonic? I did find it interesting some of the people that were originally involved in wanting to be in this movie. I don't know if you looked at the trivia at all.
You know what I did?
Adrian Brody wanted to star and produce and be in the movie, and he actually met with and discussed with Gerard Butler about them being the two brothers. And then I guess they both decided not to do it. But that would have been really weird also. The two of them worked because I thought that I could see them as being brothers.
Yeah.
I bought it. I bought it enough.
Yeah, these two are kind of weird as brothers.
Yeah.
That's true.
But here are some other people that were considered for the James Marsden role. Chad Michael Murray. Hayden Christensen.
Who?
Hayden Christensen.
Oh.
And Paul Walker.
Should have had as the Thomas Jane should have been Nicolas Cage.
And then Hayden Christensen as James Marsden.
Yeah, they just put them two together again because they're just movie magic.
I would watch so many movies if it was just the two of them in it. Yeah, it was okay. Again, this is one of those movies where it's Prophecy is good for us as a show because we can shit on it and praise it in some respects. This was just like, yeah, like you said, made for TV movie kind of feel. Just you know,
Prophecy. What a part I forgot to mention when we talked about Prophecy that just made me bust out laughing. I almost lost my coffee through my nose when that bear hit that person and they went flying.
Yeah,
so crazy and exaggerated. Anyway, sorry, that was funny.
Why was Piper Perabo in this as deaf? Because she can act. Why didn't she? I mean, I'm not saying that. I just didn't understand the necessity of it.
Well, it's creepy. Being deaf can you imagine being deaf in the woods and not be able to hear? Because the woods, things are always creeping around you, and it's creepy enough when you can hear in the woods by yourself. To think that you couldn't hear anything in the woods, not knowing what's creaking behind you, and then the fact that there was a bear that could just come up and kill you without you even knowing it was there. I thought that was, it added to it, I thought.
They really only touched on it, or in my opinion, effectively used it once, which was when the Fog Man and the two of them got separated. They really used it effectively there, but other than that, I was like, oh.
Now, I was about to say they didn't use it to its full extent, but it was, and this was a little preachy, of course. This had a little, shouldn't be in there cutting trees that you're not supposed to cut, and blah 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 blah. People
anti-poacher.
Yeah. So, but it didn't. But they didn't ram it down your throat. It just kind of.
No. This did an effective job of being quote unquote preachy because you knew who the poachers were immediately, and they got their comeuppance immediately.
Right.
Which that was a good scene. Here's what I didn't understand. So they talked about how they went to the shed where the poachers were, and they had bear claws and gallbladders, and they were like, oh, trying to make the money. Bear claw, I could understand. Other than being a delicious dessert, I could understand why people would want to purchase a bear claw on the black market. I didn't get the gallbladder thing.
I think it's medicinal, but I don't.
Okay.
I think I've read that before.
Okay.
Why do they go into the thing and cut tiger penises off and I hate when they show those scenes of those elephants where they've sawed off their feet.
Yeah.
It's just what a waste. That's gross.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean,
it was fine. It was fine. This was a movie, and I did this where you could watch this and a football game at the same time. I was like, yep. It's just like,
I can see that.
I was like, oh look, yep, they're running through the woods. Here comes the bear.
I probably was playing one of my games on my tablet or something.
This
probably
was
had the iPad out while I was watching it. So yeah, I agree with that.
This is a background movie.
Yeah.
Last little bit of trivia. Of course, Marsden and Thomas Jane have crossed over in one universe before. What universe is that, and which characters did they play?
The only thing that's a universe I can think of that he played in was X-Men.
It is a Marvel.
He was Daredevil.
Who? James Marsden?
Oh no, he was Punisher.
Yes, Thomas Jane was Punisher, and James Marsden was Cyclops. So they were both cinematic Marvel people. There you go. More Marvel. Everyone in Hollywood's been in a Marvel movie, I think, at this point, or a DC movie, or they've all been in something.
All they're making.
Oh, well, that's true.
Good Lord.
But
all right.
There you go. Yeah, it is. It's okay. If someone asked me, I'd kind of like.
So I'd say, yeah, I liked it, but it's not for everybody.
I would say it's an adequate film. It's adequate. It serves its purpose. No more, no less.
Yeah. I wouldn't have gone to the theater to see it.
Oh, God, no.
It was on Netflix, so it's all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for next week because we were going to do this like a year ago. And then they delayed the Bond movie. I forgot what it's called, the new one that's coming out. No Time to Die? Something?
Sure.
Something dying. I mean, the word dies in like half the Bond titles. So, I guess the last Daniel Craig Bond movie, which I've only seen one of his, to be honest, but No Time to Die, I was correct. There you go, look at me.
Was his last one Spectra? Or?
Yeah, so it was Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and now it is No Time to Die.
I forgot he'd done that many.
I forgot he had done that many. Again, I saw Casino Royale, and that was it.
I think I've seen most of those. Yeah, I think so.
Well, we have Bond movies for next week since No Time to Die is coming out very shortly. So I figured we would do all Bonds because there's plenty of them. There's 30 or something at this point.
Yeah,
what are we watching? Where do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
In case you took mine, then you're shot.
I don't think I did, but go ahead.
I picked a very well-known one that I've never seen.
Okay.
Dr. No.
Dr. No.
Dr. No.
So a little Connery, I see. So
it's Connery's first feature.
I may have seen Dr. No. I can't
Ursula Andrews is in it.
Yes. Well, I wanted to watch a movie from a Bond that I've never seen.
George Lazenby.
Thought about that.
I almost did that one too. So.
I thought about that. I thought about the Timothy Dalton. But I've never seen a Roger Moore Bond.
Roger Moore. So that's more who I grew up with.
Yeah. So we're gonna do Moonraker.
Not Octopussy.
I was going back and forth.
But you knew Daddy would be inappropriate the entire time.
Well, I honestly read the plots. I was like, Moonraker seems more interesting to me.
I looked at that one. I almost thought that one. And A View to Kill was always my favorite of his.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen. Of course, I've seen all of the Pierce Brosnan ones because that's who Bond. That was my Bond you watched growing up.
And that was the picture on the video game that you liked.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, those are all the ones. That's who the first Bond was, and let's see, yeah, GoldenEye came out in '95. Not only did I play the game, but I watched all of the Brosnan movies, one Daniel Craig, and then I've watched a couple of the Sean Connerys, and that's about it.
Right.
So, all right, Moonraker and Dr. No. I'm excited.
So hit crazy this week.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald. That bothered me.
Did not see that coming. Obviously, he didn't share with everyone.
No, he didn't share.
Which is
only in his early 60s, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 61, something like that.
Yeah, and So that was already kind of like, damn, crap. I really like this comedy. I loved when he did his Saturday Night Live stuff. He's one of the few people who came off Saturday Night Live that I actually thought he was really funny.
Yeah.
But then the other night, I thought, well, I'll listen to his. I haven't listened to his comedy album in a while, because that's what I listen to at night. And I put it on, and it was a little creepy because the whole first 15 minutes of it is all about death.
Right.
Even mentioning his own death. I mean,
right.
he would, I'd rather be alive. That's why dead's bad. It was like, oh my God, it was kind of weird to listen to it. So there's a few celebrity deaths that it always seems to be comedians that shock me. Robin Williams was kind of like, what? Gary Shandling was like, damn, what? So, but anyway.
Yeah, no, that's I think a lot of people were shocked about that.
Yeah, it looks like I thought maybe he, just because of the way he comes off, I thought maybe he'd be one of them kind of people that people didn't like. He'd be kind of jerky backstage, but apparently, I mean, everyone that I'm actually on Facebook with a lot of character actors, a lot of bit actors that have worked with him, and they were all just nothing but praise about how great he was and what a nice person he was. And I was like, oh, because it seems like he'd be kind of aloof and guy.
You could see that.
Sarah Silverman on her podcast said that's not a character. That the guy he did on stage was normal. He acted like that. That's the way. That was not a character.
I believe it.
That he was completely like that, and you never knew half the time when to take him seriously, when not. And he was just dry sense of humor and fun to be around. So I was like, that'd be kind of fun, I guess, because I always kind of thought that was maybe a little put on, but apparently, according to her and Artie playing, that no, what you saw is what you got.
Okay, there you go.
So everybody needs to go and watch his Jeopardy as Burt Reynolds was always funny.
Yes.
And the one that we like so well is the Bible one.
The trivia game.
The what now?
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And that every time I watch it, that cracks me up. I forgot exactly what it's called. What did you say it was?
I called it trivia. I don't remember.
Religious trivia or Jeopardy, religious Jeopardy or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that was that's hilarious. His show was bad but funny. So it's kind of like, wow, this is bad, but I'm laughing at it. So anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for Bond Week next week.
I'll show you the new pop.
Come in your tux. You did show me that, but no, now we have it officially on.
I want them to make a Wrath of Khan and Kirk pop.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
They do have a Khan, but it's from the original series.
They'll get there.
Eventually. But yeah, I saw this little buddy online. I was like, all right, I gotta have him in his chair, and I'm gonna put it right under our William Shatner picture.
There you go.
So on my ever-growing wall.
Yes. Oh man. I'm happy we were able to do this.
Yes.
Things went in jeopardy today. Oh, I guess I went golfing.
You did go golfing. Are you sore today?
Not as much as I was expecting.
Okay.
So I'll take
What'd
that.
You shoot?
123.
123.
Yep.
Well, for your first time playing a full 18 holes.
I don't think it was bad.
Actually, first time actually, really playing.
Yeah.
Not just goofing around. I think that is legit.
I think it's fine.
So,
here's the way I would describe what happened. The irons, decent there, had some good shots. Putting, hit or miss, had some okay ones. Driving, just shit. The whole day. The whole day.
So you know what you need to work on. You need to get to the driving range.
Well, that's what's funny though, because that's the thing I worked on the most beforehand.
You know what you need. You need a coach.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things from a coach could probably fix whatever you're doing wrong.
Yeah, the driving was. It was either right or I was just low and forward. So I couldn't.
Hey, forward's better than I can hit.
So yeah, there was a lot of drops. Like, all right, we're just gonna drop it from here, and this is where you hit it. I'm gonna drop from here. I'll just add a stroke.
Close enough.
But no, yeah, best shot was I was on hole number 9 where we played. It was like 147 yards, par 3, and from the tee, just dropped it right on the green. I was like, perfect. And of course, then I 3-putted it. So I got, but I was like, I know, but I was like, all right, I'll take that,
And what did my son-in-law shoot?
He shot like 108, I think.
All right.
So I
But
think
he's
so.
been doing a little
108, 115, somewhere around there. So on the front 9. Yeah, I think he shot 108, and this is his second time going out, but he's also been to the range way more than I have. So, and
he's taking some lessons.
Yeah, and he's taking a couple lessons.
Yeah, so yeah.
So we'll see. That's my goal now. Just
to beat Dustin.
Yep.
One shot.
That's right. Well, see you all next time on a podcast named Tim.